I'm standing in Victoria's kitchen at 6:47 a.m., watching my sister and her husband load suitcases into their SUV while their 3 kids eat cereal and pajamas. They're leaving for Mexico. I flew here yesterday. Let me back up. 3 weeks ago, my phone rang at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. Victoria. We hadn't spoken in 7 months, not since she forgot my birthday and sent a generic, "Sorry, crazy busy," text 4 days late. Cassie. Her voice had that sugary coating she saves for when she needs something. I've been thinking about you non-stop. I was microwaving leftover pasta in my studio apartment in Newark. Outside, December rain hammered the windows. Yeah. You've been grinding so hard with your work. When's the last time you took a real break? I stirred my pasta, suspicious. I'm fine. Come to California for Christmas. Our treat. The kids miss their aunt, and honestly, I miss my sister. The kids miss me. She missed me. I felt something loosen in my chest, that stupid hope that maybe this time, things would be different between us. I can't afford. We'll cover the flight. Please, Cassie. It's been 3 years since we've had Christmas together. The kids are getting older. Time's slipping away. Time's slipping away. She knew exactly what to say. I said yes before my pasta finished reheating. The ticket arrived in my email 18 minutes later. Already booked. Already paid for. Departing December 23rd, returning January 2nd. She'd purchased it before calling me. I should have caught that. I didn't. The flight landed in San Diego just after sunset. Palm trees wrapped in white lights. Air so warm I could smell jasmine. Victoria and Owen stood at the curb, waving like I was returning from war. The kids crashed into my legs. Aunt Cassie. Aunt Cassie. That night, we drank wine on their back patio. Owen grilled steaks. Victoria kept refilling my glass, laughing about the time we got detention together in 8th grade for skipping assembly. To family, she said, raising her glass. To finally getting back what matters. Everyone clinked glasses. The kids were already asleep inside. The Christmas lights twinkled above us. I felt loved. I felt wanted. I slept hard that night in their guest room, the kind of deep sleep you only get when you think you're safe. Then I woke up to suitcases rolling across tile. Victoria was already dressed. Sunglasses perched on her head. Owen checked his phone by the front door. The kids sat on the couch with cereal, watching cartoons. Morning. Victoria said. Too bright. Too fast. So, quick thing. I stood there in my pajamas, barefoot on their cold kitchen tile. We're heading to Mexico for a few days. Just a quick getaway. You're fine with the kids, right? I actually laughed. She didn't. The fridge is stocked, she continued, like I'd already agreed. Emergency numbers are on the counter. School's out, so no driving anywhere. My mouth opened. Nothing came out. Owen grabbed the last suitcase. Back on the 26th. The door closed. Engine started. Gone. I flew 3,000 miles because she begged me to come home. I wasn't a guest. I was the plan. The first thing that hit me was the silence after their car pulled away. Just me. 3 kids. 10 days. Milo, the oldest at 9, looked up from his cereal. Where'd Mom and Dad go? Mexico, I said, my voice flat. Cool. He went back to his cartoon. The younger 2, twins, Zoe and Parker, both 7, didn't even look up. This was normal to them. I pulled out my phone. Texted Victoria, "Are you serious right now?" 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then nothing. I called. Straight to voicemail. Owen's phone rang 4 times before going to voicemail too. My hands were shaking. I set the phone down on the counter and stared at the note she'd left, a yellow sticky note next to the coffee maker. Pizza money in the drawer. Kids' bedtime is 8:30, flexible LOL. You're the best. V. You're the best. Like this was a favor between friends. Like I'd volunteered. The first day blurred into crisis management. Parker threw a tantrum because I made the wrong kind of mac and cheese. Zoe refused to brush her teeth. Milo locked himself in his room and wouldn't come out for 3 hours. I couldn't work. Every time I opened my laptop, someone needed something. A snack. The remote. Help finding a toy they'd lost 2 months ago. By 10 p.m., I collapsed on the couch. My back ached. My head pounded. The kids had finally crashed after watching movies until they passed out mid-scene. I checked Instagram. Victoria's story, a photo of her and Owen on a beach. Sunset behind them. Cocktails with little umbrellas. Caption, finally taking time for US Sparkles 2 hearts. 400 likes already. I stared at that photo for a full minute. She looked so relaxed. So happy. So free. Because I was here. Doing her job. For free. Day 2 was worse. The toilet in the kids' bathroom clogged. I spent an hour with a plunger, gagging, while Parker stood in the doorway asking why it smelled bad. Zoe spilled an entire gallon of orange juice on the kitchen floor. It seeped into the grout between the tiles. Sticky. Everywhere. Milo informed me he needed a poster board for a school project, due January 3rd, but he wanted to start early. Did I know where poster boards were? I didn't. I texted Victoria again, "I need to talk to you about this. Call me." 20 minutes later, "Sorry, service is spotty here. You're doing amazing flex biceps." I called. Voicemail. Owen finally responded around 7 p.m. A single emoji, thumbs up. That's it. Not, "Thank you." Not, "How are the kids?" Not, "We'll make this up to you." A thumbs up. I sat on their back patio after the kids went to bed, drinking wine straight from the bottle because I couldn't find a clean glass. The Christmas lights Victoria had bragged about, custom installed, cost a fortune, blinked in patterns above me. Red. Green. White. Red. Green. White. My flight home wasn't for another week. I pulled up the confirmation email. Checked the change fee. $400 to switch flights. I didn't have $400. Not without putting it on a credit card I was still paying down. Victoria knew that. She knew exactly what she was doing. That's when the thought crept in, quiet at first, then louder. What else does she know that I don't? I stood up, leaving the wine bottle on the patio table, and walked back inside. The guest room door clicked shut behind me. I needed to find some clean towels anyway. That's what I told myself as I opened the closet. Christmas Eve morning, I woke up on the couch. Not because I'd fallen asleep watching TV. Because Zoe had crawled into the guest bed at 2 a.m., starfished across the mattress, and kicked me in the face twice before I gave up and moved. My neck was stiff. My lower back felt like someone had taken a hammer to it. The kids were already awake, cartoons blaring, empty Pop-Tart wrappers on the coffee table. "Morning, Aunt Cassie," Milo said, not looking away from the screen. I checked my phone. 2 texts from friends back home asking about my Christmas plans. 1 email from my boss asking if I could hop on a call tomorrow. Tomorrow was Christmas. Nothing from Victoria. I opened Instagram again. Couldn't help myself. New post from her account, uploaded an hour ago, Victoria and Owen on jet skis. Her hair whipping behind her, face tilted toward the sun. Caption, living our best life waterwave sun. 372 likes. I scrolled through the comments. You too deserve this. Power couple goals smiling face with heart eyes. Where are the kiddos? Victoria had responded to that one, with family. Everyone's happy red heart. With family. I wasn't family. I was staff. The rest of the day unfolded like a fever dream. I burned frozen chicken nuggets because I forgot they were in the oven. Parker cried because his favorite stuffed animal was still in the washing machine, soaking wet, unusable. Zoe announced she wanted to make cookies for Santa but they didn't have cookie cutters. Can't we just make regular cookies? I asked. No. She crossed her arms. Santa needs shapes. By 4 p.m., we were at Target. Me in wrinkled sweatpants and a coffee-stained shirt, pushing a cart with 3 kids grabbing things off shelves. Cookie cutters. Last-minute wrapping paper. Batteries for some toy that had stopped working. The bill came to $93. I paid with my credit card. The one I'd promised myself I wouldn't use unless it was an emergency. This counted, right? Back at the house, I helped Zoe make cookies. Milo played video games. Parker built a fort out of couch cushions and refused to come out. At 8:45 p.m., I finally got all 3 of them into bed. Zoe hugged me. Thanks for making Christmas, Aunt Cassie. Something cracked in my chest. These kids didn't ask for this. They didn't know their mom had ditched them. To them, this was just another week, another babysitter situation they'd learned to accept. I closed their bedroom door and walked back to the guest room. Sat on the edge of the bed. Stared at the closet. I'd been avoiding it all day. That nagging feeling from last night, what else does she know that I don't, had been building. I stood up. Opened the closet door. And started pulling boxes off the top shelf. Most of them were old clothes. Holiday decorations. Random junk. Then I found the filing box. The one with my name on it. Cassie Bennett written in Victoria's handwriting across the label. My hands went cold. I lifted the lid. The first document I pulled out was a bank statement. My bank statement. From 7 months ago. I didn't give this to her. I never sent her my banking information. My hand started shaking as I flipped through the stack. More statements. Different months. Someone had been tracking my finances. Then I found the folder underneath. Legal-sized. Manila. The tab read, Guardianship Documents. I opened it. The first page was a temporary guardianship agreement, dated December 8th. 2 weeks before she called me about Christmas. I read it 3 times before my brain would process the words. In the event of parental absence, Cassie Bennett is hereby appointed temporary guardian of minor children Milo Chin, Zoe Chin, and Parker Chin, with full authority to make medical, educational, and emergency decisions on their behalf. My signature was at the bottom. Except I never signed this. I looked closer. It wasn't even a good forgery, the signature was printed, not scanned. Like she'd typed my name in a cursive font and hoped no one would check. My chest felt tight. I kept digging. Power of attorney documents. Also dated December 8th. Also with my signature. An email printout, from Victoria's account to Owen's, subject line, Cassie confirmed for the 23rd. The email was dated December 6th. Before she called me, she said yes to Christmas like I knew she would. I'll book the Mexico trip once we have confirmation she can't back out. Make sure the guardianship papers are filed before she arrives. If anything happens while we're gone, it's on her legally, not us. If anything happens. I read that line 5 times. They didn't just leave me with their kids. They set me up to take legal responsibility if something went wrong. A medical emergency. An accident. Anything. I pulled out my phone, hands shaking so hard I almost dropped it. Took photos of every document. Every page. Then I found the property folder. It was thicker than the others. I opened it, and a real estate listing slid out. Their house. Listed for $890,000. Status, pending sale. Closing date, December 27th. 2 days from now. I sat down hard on the floor, papers scattered around me. They were selling the house. Moving. And they hadn't told anyone. I scrolled through the documents. Escrow papers. Title transfer forms. A relocation agreement with Owen's company. His job was transferring him to Seattle. Effective January 15th. They'd been planning this for months. Another email printout, this one from October. Once the house closes, we'll have enough to cover the Seattle down payment and pay off the credit cards. We just need someone to watch the kids during the gap. Your sister's perfect, she works remote, no kids of her own, and she'll do anything if you guilt her enough. She'll do anything if you guilt her enough. I read that line until the words blurred. Time's slipping away, she'd said on the phone. The kids miss you. I miss you. All of it scripted. All of it calculated. I kept digging, pulling out more papers, my breath coming faster. Credit card statements, theirs, not mine this time. Balances that made my stomach drop. $47,000 on one card. $31,000 on another. A third one maxed at $23,000. A letter from their mortgage company. Final notice stamped in red across the top. 2 payments behind. They were drowning. And the house sale was their escape plan. Another folder. This one labeled, Mexico trip itinerary. I opened it. Not a few days. Not a quick getaway. 12 days at an all-inclusive resort. Spa packages. Excursions. Room service. Total cost, $8,400. They'd paid for it with a credit card. The confirmation email was dated December 10th, 4 days after she'd called me. She booked Mexico before she even knew I'd said yes to Christmas. No. She booked it because she knew I'd say yes. I stood up, legs unsteady, and walked to the window. Outside, the Christmas lights blinked their pattern. Red. Green. White. The neighborhood was quiet. Peaceful. Everyone inside with their families, wrapping presents, drinking hot chocolate. I looked down at my phone. 11:37 p.m. Victoria hadn't texted since yesterday's "You're doing amazing" message. I scrolled up through our text history. Months of one-sided conversations. Me checking in. Her responding days later with one-word answers or emojis. The last time she'd called me, really called, not texted, was 9 months ago. When she needed me to co-sign a loan application. I'd said no. She'd stopped calling. Until she needed a babysitter. I sat back down on the floor, surrounded by evidence of her betrayal, and felt something inside me go quiet. Not angry. Not sad. Just cold. Clear. I picked up my phone and opened my contacts. Scrolled to a name I hadn't called in 2 years, Natalie Chin, law school. We'd been roommates sophomore year. She'd moved to California after graduation, passed the bar, opened a family law practice in San Diego. I hit call. It rang 4 times. Then her voicemail picked up. "Hey, it's Natalie. Leave a message and I'll call you back." I took a breath. "Nat, it's Cassie Bennett. I know it's late, and I know we haven't talked in forever, but I need a lawyer. Call me back as soon as you can. It's urgent." I hung up. Then I called the second number. This one answered on the first ring. "San Diego County Child Protective Services. This is the after-hours line. Are you reporting an emergency?" "No," I said, my voice steady. "I need to document parental abandonment." The CPS operator's voice was calm, professional. "Can you provide details about the situation?" I walked through it. The flight. The setup. The guardianship documents I never signed. 3 kids left with me for 12 days while their parents partied in Mexico. "And you're currently caring for the children?" "Yes. They're asleep." "Are they in immediate danger?" "No. They're safe." "Federal. I just need this on record." She took my information. "Case number assigned. Someone would follow up after the holiday." "Ma'am, if the parents return as scheduled and the children are unharmed, this likely won't result in removal. But we'll have documentation of the complaint. That's all I need." I hung up. My phone buzzed. Natalie calling back. "Cassie. What's going on?" I hadn't talked to her since she sent a congratulations text when I got my current job. Now I was calling at midnight on Christmas Eve asking for legal help. My sister forged guardianship documents with my name on them, left me with her 3 kids, and is closing on a house sale in 2 days without telling anyone she's moving. Silence on the other end. Then, "Are you in San Diego?" "Yeah." "Her house." "Text me the address." "I'm coming over." "Nat, it's Christmas Eve. I'm divorced and my family's in Boston. I've got nothing but leftover Chinese food and a bottle of wine. Text me the address." She arrived 40 minutes later with a laptop bag and a legal pad. I'd made coffee. We sat at Victoria's dining table, the one she bragged cost $3,000, and I laid out every document. Natalie photographed each one with her phone. Made notes. Asked questions. "This guardianship document is garbage," she said, holding up the forged paper. "Any court would throw it out. Your signature's printed, not notarized." "But that's not the point, is it?" "What do you mean?" "She didn't need it to hold up legally. She just needed you to think you were responsible. Needed you trapped here, afraid to leave the kids alone." My hands tightened around my coffee mug. Natalie kept flipping through documents. "The house sale is the bigger issue. If she's selling without settling debts, if she's using the proceeds to flee creditors." She looked up. "Do you know if they owe anyone besides the credit cards?" "I don't know. We should find out." She pulled up something on her laptop. "When's your flight home?" "January 2nd. "When do they get back?" "December 26th, tomorrow." Natalie checked her watch. 12:47 a.m., so today, technically. "Yeah." She leaned back in her chair, thinking. "Here's what I recommend. You're not legally obligated to stay. Those guardianship papers are worthless. You could walk out right now. I'm not leaving 3 kids alone." "I know. Which is why your sister picked you." She tapped her pen against the legal pad. "Do you have family nearby?" Anyone who can take the kids. I shook my head. Our parents are dead. Victoria's husband Owen has parents somewhere in the area, but I don't have their contact info. I can find them. Natalie opened a new tab. What's Owen's full name? Owen Chin. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. Found them. Richard and Susan Chin. Carlsbad address. That's 20 minutes from here. What am I supposed to do, just call them and dump the kids? No. You call them and tell them the truth. That their son and daughter-in-law abandoned their grandchildren to go party in Mexico, and you're not equipped to handle this. My stomach twisted. They'll think I'm the problem. Maybe at first. But you've got documentation. You've got photos. You've got a CPS report filed. She looked at me hard. Cassie, your sister committed fraud. She forged legal documents with your identity. That's a crime. The word hung in the air between us. Crime. Victoria was my sister. We'd shared a bedroom growing up. She taught me how to ride a bike. I'd been her maid of honor at her wedding. She'd also used me like a pawn in her escape plan. What happens if I report the forgery? I asked quietly. Depends. Could be charged as identity theft, fraud, or falsification of legal documents. Probably wouldn't see jail time as a first offense, but it'd be on her record. Complicate the house sale for sure. And the house sale. If the buyer's agent finds out there's an active fraud investigation involving the sellers, they'll back out. Or demand delays while it's resolved. Either way, that December 27th closing date isn't happening. I sat with that for a minute. Victoria needed that money. The credit cards. The mortgage. Her whole plan hinged on that house sale going through clean and fast. There's something else, Natalie said. If you leave before they get back, if you transfer the kids to Owen's parents, Victoria has no leverage over you. She can't guilt you. Can't manipulate you. Can't trap you here. She'll lose her mind. Probably. I looked around the kitchen. The expensive espresso machine on the counter. The designer light fixtures. The custom backsplash. All of it funded by credit cards they couldn't pay off. All of it about to disappear when the house sold. And I was supposed to be the safety net that made it all possible. I need to book a flight home, I said. Natalie nodded. When? I pulled out my phone. Checked flight options. There's a red-eye tonight. Leaves at 11:55 p.m. Tonight as in 23 hours from now. Yeah. That's Christmas night. I know. She studied my face. You're sure? I thought about Victoria's Instagram post. The jet skis. The cocktails. The caption, living our best life. While I scrubbed their toilet and paid for cookie cutters with my credit card. I'm sure. Okay. Natalie closed her laptop. Here's what we do. Tomorrow morning, you call Owen's parents. Explain the situation. If they can't take the kids, we'll figure out plan B. You pack your stuff. I'll draft a statement documenting everything, the forged documents, the timeline, the house sale. You'll sign it, I'll notarize it. And then you contact the buyer's agent for the house. Flag the sale. Tell them there's a legal dispute involving the property and the sellers. My heart was pounding. That'll kill the closing. Yes. Victoria will freak out. Yes. She'll never forgive me. Natalie leaned forward. Cassie, she forged your signature on legal documents and left you holding the bag for her kids while she went on vacation. What exactly are you forgiving her for? I didn't have an answer. We talked for another hour. Natalie explained the legal implications, the steps I needed to take, the documentation I needed to keep. By the time she left at 3 a.m., I had a plan. A real one. Not Victoria's plan for me. Mine. I walked back to the guest room, stepping carefully past the kids' bedrooms. Set my alarm for 7 a.m. Tomorrow was Christmas. And I was about to ruin my sister's life. The thought should have made me feel guilty. It didn't. I felt calm. For the first time in 3 days, I felt like I could breathe. I lay down on the guest bed, stared at the ceiling, and waited for morning. Christmas morning came with bright sun streaming through the windows and kids jumping on my bed at 7:02 a.m. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Santa came. I'd forgotten about Santa. Somehow, between the CPS call and the lawyer visit and the midnight planning session, I'd completely forgotten that I was supposed to play Santa Claus. The kids dragged me to the living room. Victoria had set up presents before she left, wrapped boxes under the tree with tags in her handwriting. To Milo, love Santa. To Zoe, love Santa. She'd planned this. Every detail. The presents. The trip. The abandonment. All of it calculated. I made coffee while the kids tore into wrapping paper. Watched them squeal over toys they'd probably forget about in a week. Milo got a gaming console. The twins got matching bikes. Expensive gifts. All bought on credit cards they couldn't pay. At 8:30 a.m., I stepped outside onto the back patio with my phone. Deep breath. I dialed the number Natalie had found. It rang 3 times. Hello. A woman's voice. Older. Cautious. Hi, is this Susan Chin? Yes. Who's calling? My name is Cassie Bennett. I'm Victoria's sister. Owen's sister-in-law. Pause. Oh. Cassie. We haven't met. No, we haven't. I steadied my voice. I'm calling because I'm at Victoria and Owen's house with Milo, Zoe, and Parker, and I need help. What kind of help? Victoria and Owen left for Mexico 3 days ago. They're not coming back until tomorrow. I'm alone with the kids, and I can't stay anymore. Silence on the other end. Then, they what? I explained everything. The flight. The surprise departure. The 12-day trip. The forged guardianship papers. Susan's voice shifted from cautious to cold. They left you alone with 3 children for almost 2 weeks. Yes. Without asking first. They told me the morning they left. I didn't have a choice. More silence. Then I heard her talking to someone in the background, muffled, but angry. She came back on the line. Richard and I are coming over. Don't let those kids go anywhere. We'll be there in 30 minutes. The line went dead. I walked back inside. The kids were building something with new Lego sets, wrapping paper scattered everywhere like a tornado had hit. Aunt Cassie, can we have hot chocolate? Zoe asked. Sure. I made hot chocolate. Microwaved frozen waffles. Kept my hands busy while my brain spun. Owen's parents arrived at 9:07 a.m. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find a couple in their mid-60s, Richard tall and stern-looking, Susan shorter with sharp eyes that took in everything. You're Cassie. Susan said. Yes. Where are the children? Living room. She walked past me without waiting for an invitation. Richard followed, quieter but just as intense. The kids looked up from their Legos. Grandma. Grandpa. Milo jumped up. What are you doing here? Visiting, Susan said, her voice softening for them. "Merry Christmas, sweetheart." She hugged all 3 kids, then turned to me. "Can we talk privately?" We went into the kitchen. I showed them everything. The documents. The photos on my phone. The forged signatures. The house listing. The credit card statements. Richard's jaw clenched tighter with every page. Susan just kept shaking her head. I knew they were struggling. I didn't know it was this bad. "They're selling the house," I said. "Closing in 2 days. Moving to Seattle." "Seattle?" Richard's voice cracked. "Owen's moving to Seattle and didn't tell us." I pulled up the relocation agreement on my phone. Showed him. He read it twice, then handed the phone back to me without a word. Susan looked at me carefully. "What do you need from us?" "I need someone to take the kids. I have a flight tonight. I can't stay." "Tonight? It's Christmas." "I know." I met her eyes. "But I didn't agree to this. I was tricked into coming here, and I'm not staying any longer." She studied my face for a long moment. Then nodded. "We'll take them." Richard pulled out his phone. "I'm calling Owen." "He won't answer," I said. "I've tried. They're both ignoring calls." "He'll answer for me." Richard stepped outside. Through the window, I watched him pace the patio, phone pressed to his ear. Susan sat down at the kitchen table. "How long have they been planning this?" "Months, from what I can tell." "And you had no idea?" "None." She rubbed her temples. Victoria always had a way of making things work for her. Even when she was dating Owen, I could see it. She'd say jump, he'd ask how high. "It's not just him," I said quietly. "It's me too. It's everyone." Susan looked up. "Not anymore, though." "No. Not anymore." Richard came back inside, his face red. Voicemail. I left a message telling him we know what they did and we're taking the kids. "What about Victoria?" I asked. "I'll try her next." He dialed. It rang. Then, "Victoria. It's Richard. I'm at your house. With Cassie and the kids. You want to explain to me why you left your children with your sister for 2 weeks without asking her first?" I couldn't hear Victoria's response, but I watched Richard's expression darken. "I don't care if it was convenient. You don't abandon your children." "No, Susan and I are taking them. Because Cassie has a flight tonight and she's leaving." "That's not her problem, Victoria. You created this mess." He was quiet for a minute, listening. Then, "If you want to discuss this, come home. Otherwise, the kids are staying with us until you get back." He hung up. "What did she say?" Susan asked. "That Cassie agreed to watch them. That this is all a misunderstanding." "That's a lie," I said. "I know." Richard pocketed his phone. "She's panicking." Good, I thought. Let her panic. Susan stood up. "We'll pack some things for the kids. Richard, go get the car seats from the garage." They moved through the house like a tactical team. Susan gathered clothes, toothbrushes, medications. Richard found car seats in the garage, dusty but functional. The kids protested at first. Didn't want to leave their new toys. "You can bring them," Susan said gently. "We'll have Christmas at our house too." "Where's Mom and Dad?" Parker asked, his voice small. "On vacation, buddy," Richard said. "They'll be back soon." 40 minutes later, the house was quiet again. Empty. Just me. My phone rang 11 times between noon and 6 p.m. Victoria. Victoria. Owen. Victoria. Unknown number. Victoria. Owen. Victoria. Unknown number. Victoria. Victoria. I didn't answer any of them. At 6:47 p.m., I was sitting on the couch with my suitcase by the door when my phone buzzed with a text. Victoria, pick up the phone now. Victoria, Cassie, I swear to God. Victoria, what did you do? Victoria, the real estate agent called us saying there's a fraud investigation. Victoria, call me. I watched the messages come in. One after another. The dots appearing and disappearing as she typed and deleted and typed again. Then my phone rang. Victoria again. This time, I answered. Where are my kids? Her voice was shrill, panicked. With Owen's parents. You had no right. I had every right. You abandoned them with me. I documented it. I called CPS. I called a lawyer. And I handed them to the people who actually give a damn about them. You called CPS. She was screaming now. Are you insane? No. I'm done. Done with what? With you. My voice stayed calm. Flat. Done being your backup plan. Done being the easy sister who does whatever you ask. Cassie, listen to me. No, you listen. You forged my signature on guardianship documents. You flew me across the country under false pretenses. You left me alone with 3 kids for 12 days so you could go party in Mexico. You lied to everyone, your kids, your in-laws, me. It wasn't like that. Yes, it was. I found the emails, Victoria. I know you planned this months ago. I know about the house sale. I know about Seattle. I know about the credit cards. Silence. Then, you went through our private documents. I almost laughed. You mean the box with my name on it? The one full of forged papers with my signature. Those papers were just for emergencies. They were fraud. You committed identity fraud. I didn't use your credit. I didn't steal anything. You stole my consent. You stole my time. You set me up to take legal responsibility for your kids without asking me first. Her voice cracked. We needed help. Then you should have asked for help. Not tricked me into giving it. We couldn't afford. You couldn't afford Mexico either. But you went anyway. Another silence. Longer this time. When she spoke again, her voice had changed. Quieter. Colder. What did you tell the real estate agent? The truth. What truth? That you forged documents with my identity. That there's an active CPS case. That I filed a formal complaint about fraud and abandonment. You're lying. Check your email. She sent you the documentation an hour ago. I heard her fumbling with her phone. Then a sharp intake of breath. The buyers are pulling out. Probably. Cassie, we need that sale. Do you understand? We need that money. Should have thought of that before you left your kids with someone you were setting up to take the fall. Take the fall. Nothing was going to happen. You had me sign power of attorney forms. Guardianship papers. If one of those kids had gotten hurt, if there'd been an emergency, it would have been my name on the liability forms. My responsibility. My problem. That's not, we wouldn't have. Yes, you would. Because that's what you do, Victoria. You manipulate people into solving your problems and then disappear when things get messy. She was crying now. Full sobs. Please. Just call the agent back. Tell her it was a misunderstanding. Tell her you were confused. No. Cassie, I'm begging you. We'll lose everything. You already lost everything. You just haven't figured it out yet. Owen's voice in the background, muffled but angry. Victoria shouting at him to shut up. Then she came back on the line. Fine. You want to burn everything down. Go ahead. But don't expect to be part of this family anymore. I'm not part of this family. I'm the help. There's a difference. You selfish. I hung up. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding. But I didn't feel bad. I felt free. The phone rang again immediately. I declined the call. Then I blocked Victoria's number. Blocked Owen's. A text came through from an unknown number. Unknown, this is Victoria using Owen's coworker's phone. You're making a huge mistake. I blocked that number too. At 8:15 p.m., my phone rang again. Different number. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Hello. Cassie. It's Susan. I relaxed slightly. Hi. I wanted to check in. The kids are settled. They had dinner, they're watching a movie. Milo asked about you. What did you tell him? That you had to go home. That you'll see them again sometime. Would I? I wasn't sure. How are you holding up? Susan asked. I don't know. Victoria just called. She's losing her mind about the house sale. Richard talked to Owen. He's furious at us for interfering. I'm sorry. Don't be. We should have intervened a long time ago. We knew they were struggling, but we didn't realize. She trailed off. They were using you. That's not okay. My throat felt tight. Thank you for saying that. When's your flight? 3 hours. Do you need a ride to the airport? I've got an Uber scheduled. Okay. She paused. Cassie, for what it's worth, you did the right thing. Those kids are safe. You documented everything properly. And you protected yourself. That takes courage. I didn't feel courageous. I felt exhausted. Will you keep me updated? I asked. About the kids. Of course. I'll text you when Victoria and Owen get back tomorrow. Let you know what happens. Thank you. Travel safe. She hung up. I sat in the quiet house for another hour. Checked my flight status. Confirmed my Uber. Double-checked that I had all my documents photographed and backed up to the cloud. At 10:30 p.m., the Uber pulled up outside. I took one last look around the house. The expensive furniture. The custom kitchen. The Christmas lights still blinking outside. All of it built on credit they couldn't pay back. All of it about to collapse. I walked out the front door, locked it behind me, and slid the key under the mat. The driver loaded my suitcase. I climbed into the back seat. Airport, he asked. Yeah. As we pulled away from the curb, I watched the house disappear in the rearview mirror. My phone buzzed. Another text from an unknown number. Unknown, please call me. I can explain everything. V. I deleted it. Then I turned my phone to airplane mode and leaned my head against the window. The city lights blurred past. I closed my eyes. And for the first time in 4 days, I felt like I could finally breathe. I landed in Newark at 8:14 a.m. on December 26th. Cold air hit my face as I walked out of the terminal. Gray sky. Dirty snow piled along the curbs. Traffic noise. It felt like home. My phone came off airplane mode and the Uber back to my apartment. Notifications flooded in. 17 missed calls. 32 text messages. 4 voicemails. I didn't open any of them. My studio apartment was exactly how I'd left it. Unmade bed. Coffee mug in the sink. Mail piled on the counter. I dropped my suitcase by the door and collapsed on the couch. Slept for 6 hours straight. When I woke up, it was almost 4 p.m. My phone was buzzing on the coffee table. Susan Chin calling. I answered. Hello. Cassie. They're back. And? It's not good. Susan sounded tired. Victoria and Owen got home 2 hours ago. Richard and I met them at the house with the kids. Victoria lost it. Screaming, crying, saying we poisoned you against her. What did Owen say? Not much. He looked shell-shocked. I think he didn't realize how bad the financial situation was until the house sale fell apart. Did they take the kids back? Temporarily. But we made it clear we're watching closely. And we told them if they ever pull something like this again, we're filing for custody. My chest tightened. Can you do that? Our lawyer thinks we have grounds, especially with the CPS report and the abandonment documentation. Victoria knows we're serious. How are the kids? Confused. Upset. They don't understand why everyone's angry. Susan paused. Milo asked if you were okay. Something in my throat caught. What did you tell him? That you're home safe. That none of this is his fault. Thank you. There's something else. Susan's voice dropped. Victoria's been posting on social media. Trying to control the story. I opened Instagram. Found Victoria's account. New post from 3 hours ago, a photo of her hugging the kids. Caption: When family turns their back on you during hard times, you hold your real family closer. Some people will never understand sacrifice. Red heart folded hands. 463 likes. Comments flooded below. Stay strong, mama. Flex biceps. You deserve better than toxic people. Family isn't always blood, red heart. My hands clenched around my phone. I scrolled down. Another post from an hour ago. This one was just text on a colored background. PSA, just because someone does you one favor doesn't mean they own you. Boundaries matter. Manipulation isn't love. She was talking about me. Making me the villain. I took a screenshot. Then another. Saved them all. Susan was still on the line. Cassie. You there? Yeah. I see it. Don't respond. Don't engage. That's what she wants. I know. But my family group chat was exploding too. I opened it. Aunt Linda, what's going on with you and Victoria? She's very upset. Cousin Troy, V says you abandoned her kids on Christmas. Uncle Frank, can someone explain what happened? Aunt Linda, Cassie. I stared at the messages. My family, people I'd known my whole life, already believed Victoria's version. I started typing a response. Deleted it. Started again. Then stopped. Susan was right. Don't engage. Instead, I created a new group text. Added only the people who needed to know, Susan, Richard, and Natalie. Me, Victoria is spreading a false story on social media. I'm documenting everything. Not responding publicly. Natalie, smart. Let her dig her own hole. Susan, we're supporting you. Don't let her gaslight you. I closed the family group chat without responding. Let them think what they wanted. Over the next 3 days, I watched the story unfold from 3,000 miles away. Susan sent updates. The house buyers officially withdrew. The sale was dead. Victoria and Owen's mortgage company sent another notice. Foreclosure proceedings would begin in 60 days if payments weren't made. Owen's parents hired a lawyer. Drew up custody contingency plans in case Victoria and Owen's situation deteriorated further. And Victoria kept posting stories about betrayal, quotes about forgiveness, photos of her kids with captions about protecting them from toxic energy. Never my name. But everyone knew who she meant. The comments were split now. Some people defending her. Others asking questions. Wait, she left you alone with her kids for how long? Why didn't she just ask you to babysit normally? Something doesn't add up here. Then Troy sent me a private message. Troy, hey. Can we talk? I called him. What's up? Victoria did the same thing to me. His voice was quiet. 2 years ago. Asked me to co-sign a lease. Said it was temporary, she'd pay everything. Then she bailed on rent for 3 months. I had to cover it or tank my credit. Why didn't you tell anyone? Because she's family. And she made me feel crazy for being upset about it. Like I was the selfish one for wanting my money back. I closed my eyes. How much did you lose? $4,000. Troy. I'm telling you this because you're not crazy. And you're not wrong. Victoria's been doing this for years. You're just the first person who fought back. After we hung up, I sat in the dark of my apartment, listening to the radiator hiss. Troy was right. I wasn't the first victim. Just the first one who said no. Aunt Linda, what's going on with you and Victoria? She's very upset. Cousin Troy, V says you abandoned her kids on Christmas. Uncle Frank, can someone explain what happened? Aunt Linda, Cassie. I stared at the messages. My family, people I'd known my whole life, already believed Victoria's version. I started typing a response. Deleted it. Started again. Then stopped. Susan was right. Don't engage. Instead, I created a new group text. Added only the people who needed to know, Susan, Richard, and Natalie. Me, Victoria is spreading a false story on social media. I'm documenting everything. Not responding publicly. Natalie, smart. Let her dig her own hole. Susan, we're supporting you. Don't let her gaslight you. I closed the family group chat without responding. Let them think what they wanted. Over the next 3 days, I watched the story unfold from 3,000 miles away. Susan sent updates. The house buyers officially withdrew. The sale was dead. Victoria and Owen's mortgage company sent another notice. Foreclosure proceedings would begin in 60 days if payments weren't made. Owen's parents hired a lawyer. Drew up custody contingency plans in case Victoria and Owen's situation deteriorated further. And Victoria kept posting stories about betrayal, quotes about forgiveness, photos of her kids with captions about protecting them from toxic energy. Never my name. But everyone knew who she meant. The comments were split now. Some people defending her. Others asking questions. Wait, she left you alone with her kids for how long? Why didn't she just ask you to babysit normally? Something doesn't add up here. Then Troy sent me a private message. Troy, hey. Can we talk? I called him. What's up? Victoria did the same thing to me. His voice was quiet. 2 years ago. Asked me to co-sign a lease. Said it was temporary, she'd pay everything. Then she bailed on rent for 3 months. I had to cover it or tank my credit. Why didn't you tell anyone? Because she's family. And she made me feel crazy for being upset about it. Like I was the selfish one for wanting my money back. I closed my eyes. How much did you lose? $4,000. Troy. I'm telling you this because you're not crazy. And you're not wrong. Victoria's been doing this for years. You're just the first person who fought back. After we hung up, I sat in the dark of my apartment, listening to the radiator hiss. Troy was right. I wasn't the first victim. Just the first one who said no. Chapter 8 complete. Proceeding to Chapter 9. Chapter 9, The Price of Deception. Word count, 675. 3 weeks passed. Victoria stopped posting about me. The social media storm died down. The family group chat moved on to other drama. But the consequences for Victoria and Owen kept building. Susan called on January 15th. The foreclosure is official. They have 90 days to vacate. Where will they go? Owen's company is still transferring him to Seattle, but without the house sale money, they can't afford a down payment on anything up there. They're looking at rentals. What about the credit cards? They're trying to negotiate settlements. Offering 30 cents on the dollar. Some creditors are agreeing. Others are threatening legal action. I should have felt guilty. I didn't. How are the kids? I asked. We have them every weekend now. Victoria agreed to it. I think she knows we're watching. Milo asked about you again last week. My heart squeezed. What did you tell him? That you live far away but you think about him. I do. I know. On January 22nd, Natalie called. The guardianship fraud complaint was forwarded to the DA's office. They're reviewing it. Will they actually charge her? Hard to say. It's a first offense, no financial damages since you didn't actually sign anything or lose money. But it's on record now. If she ever tries something like this again, there's a paper trail. That's enough, I said. There's something else. Owen's parents want to formalize a custody arrangement. Alternate weekends, plus any time Victoria and Owen need help. But they want it court-ordered, not just a handshake deal. Will Victoria agree? She doesn't have much choice. The alternative is a full custody battle, and with the CPS report and the fraud investigation, she'd lose. 2 days later, Susan texted me a photo. Court-ordered custody agreement. Signed by Victoria, Owen, Richard, and Susan. Susan, it's official. We have legal standing now. The kids are protected. I stared at that text for a long time. Protected. The word I'd needed 3 weeks ago. The word Victoria should have used when she planned her Mexico trip. Instead, she'd used convenient, easy, disposable. On February 1st, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity won. Hello. Cassie. It's Owen. I froze. What do you want? I wanted to apologize. Silence. I knew what Victoria was planning, he continued, his voice strained. The guardianship papers, the Mexico trip, using you as backup. I should have stopped it. I should have said something. Why didn't you? Because it was easier not to. Because I was drowning in debt and stress, and Victoria said she had a solution, and I just went along with it. That's not an apology. That's an excuse. You're right. He sighed. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that I knew. And I was wrong. And I'm sorry. Okay. That's it. Just okay. What do you want me to say, Owen? That it's fine. That we're good now. We're not. You used me. Both of you. I know. Do the kids know what happened? No. They think you had to go home for work. Victoria wants to keep it that way. Of course she does. Another pause. For what it's worth, Owen said quietly, you did the right thing. Walking away. Calling my parents. All of it. If you hadn't, I don't know where we'd be right now. Probably still in denial. Yeah. He laughed, but it sounded hollow. Probably. Is that all? Yeah. That's all. I hung up. Deleted the number from my call log. Walked to my kitchen window and looked out at the Newark skyline. Gray and industrial and real. 3,000 miles from palm trees and Christmas lights and sisters who only called when they needed something. My phone buzzed. Susan, kids are asking if they can call you sometime. Would that be okay? I typed back immediately. Me, yes. Anytime. Susan, thank you. They miss you. Me, I miss them too. I set my phone down. And finally let myself cry. Not for Victoria. Not for the relationship we'd never have. For the kids caught in the middle. For the family I'd lost. For the person I used to be, the easy sister who would have stayed quiet and let it all happen. She was gone now. And I wasn't sure if I should mourn her or celebrate. 6 months later, I'm sitting on my fire escape with coffee, watching the summer sun rise over Newark. My phone buzzes. FaceTime call from Milo. I answer. His face fills the screen, bigger than I remember, smile gap-toothed where he lost a tooth last month. Aunt Cassie. Hey, buddy. How's your morning? Good. Grandma made pancakes. Wanna see? He flips the camera. Susan waves from the kitchen, flour on her apron. We talk for 20 minutes. He shows me a drawing he made. Tells me about soccer camp. Asks when I'm visiting. Maybe this fall, I say. We'll see. Promise. I'll try. After we hang up, I sit with my coffee and watch the city wake up. Susan and Richard send photos every week now. The kids at the beach. Birthday parties. Regular kid stuff. Victoria's in some of them, background, distant, always looking at her phone. We haven't spoken since December. She sent one email in March. Subject line, can we talk? I never opened it. Last week, Troy told me Victoria and Owen moved to Seattle. Renting a 2-bedroom apartment. Owen's job is going okay. Victoria got part-time work at a boutique. The credit cards are still being paid down. Slowly. Owen's parents kept the custody arrangement. Every other weekend, plus holidays. The kids are adjusting. I think about that version of myself from December, the one who answered Victoria's call without questioning it, who said yes before hearing the full story, who flew across the country because someone said they missed her. She's gone. In her place is someone who checks contracts before signing. Who asks questions. Who doesn't apologize for having boundaries. Someone who disappoints people sometimes. And is learning to be okay with that. My therapist says I'm doing the work. Processing the betrayal, the guilt, the grief of losing a sister who was never really there to begin with. Some days are harder than others. But I'm not easy anymore. Not easy to manipulate. Not easy to guilt. Not easy to use. And the people who love me, really love me, not just love what I can do for them, they're still here. Natalie and I get dinner once a month now. She's dating someone. Says she's happy. Troy and I text regularly. He set boundaries with Victoria too. Says it's the hardest and best thing he's ever done. Susan sends me videos of the kids. Tells me I'm always welcome to visit. I might take her up on that. Or I might not. Either way, it'll be my choice. Not someone else's plan for me. My coffee's getting cold. The sun is fully up now, painting the buildings gold. I have a work meeting in an hour. Groceries to buy this afternoon. A completely normal, completely mine kind of day. And for the first time in my life, that's enough. I pick up my phone one more time. Open a blank note. Type out a question I've been thinking about for months. When did you stop being easy to use? Then I delete it. Because I already know my answer. December 25th. The night I flew home. The night I chose myself.